to our Veterans Day Program. I am Jerica Stark, the SHS Student Council President, and I will be the MC for this program. Thank you very much for attending our program. When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today. These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. Those words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and Gulf War veterans as well. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans, who are helping to maintain peace throughout the world. Today it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices. The price of freedom is high. You cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it. Today we celebrate America's veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave. Would all veterans in attendance please rise if able to be recognized. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your service. Now if able, please rise and remove cover for the posting of the colors by the VFW and American Legion Color Guard. Immediately following the presentation of the colors, the SHS band will perform the national anthem.
Right, march. All right, march. Halt. Left base. Post. Colors. Present. Arms. Order of march. Take seats. Take seats.
Thank you, color guard and the band. More Rob will now read the poem, Take a Moment to Thank a Veteran by Joanna Phipps.
When you see someone in uniform, someone who serves us all, doing military duty, answering their country's call, take a moment to thank them for protecting what you hold dear. Tell them you are proud of them. Make it very clear. Just tap them on the shoulder, give a smile and say, thanks for what you're doing to keep us safe in the USA.
Thank you, Nora. The SHS band will now perform Patriotic Spectacular, arranged by Steve Barnett. The band is being directed by Mr. Brett Jacobson. Thank you, band. Trinity Beats will now read the poem, The Noble and the Brave, a Veterans Day tribute by Joanna Phipps.
The Noble and the Brave, a Veterans Day tribute. When America had an urgent need, these brave ones raised a hand. No hesitation held them back. They were proud to take a stand. They left their friends and family. They gave up normal life. To serve their country and their God, they powered into the strife. They fought for freedom and for peace on strange and foreign shores. Some lost new friends, some lost their lives in long and brutal wars. Other veterans answered a call to support the ones who fought. Their country had requirements for the essential skills they brought. We salute them, every one of them, the noble and the brave, the ones still with us here today, and those who rest in the grave. So here's to our country's heroes. They are a cut above the rest. Let's give the honor that is due to our country's very best.
Thank you, Trinity. Mercedes Clark will now read her Voice of Democracy essay from last year.
When given the question, why is the veteran important, there are many reasons one could give, such as, without these men and women volunteering and putting their lives on the line, we would not live the same way we do today. Not only do our veterans protect our rights and freedoms, but they also provide aid and services to those in need. Veterans are the backbone of this country. Without them, there would be no United States of America. A veteran is a symbol of our country's many freedoms. They symbolize the blood, sweat, and tears shed to make our country as strong and civilized as it is today. When a veteran is seen or met while doing everyday things such as shopping or eating at a restaurant, immediately a person starts to wonder what tours they were a part of or what years they may have served. One may imagine what that veteran has seen and the wins and losses they have been a part of. Every veteran has stories to tell about their lives as American soldiers. Veterans represent everything our country stands for. Sometimes when we think of veterans, we forget that these men and women are real people with real lives. They were not always a part of the armed forces. One could meet a veteran and not realize they have served. Veterans can be anyone from a bartender to local construction workers, or even our neighbors. Throughout history, our veterans have put their lives on hold and at risk to protect our country. Our veterans were afraid as well, but they answered the call of duty and willingly volunteered to fight for our nation. After these men and women have served and finished their years of service, many of them come home and start a new career, making their way back to civilian life. Because of the tremendous amount of training, they have now acquired many new skills. These skills can come in handy in the workplace. Included in those skills might be working well with others as a team, having good body strength to lift and move heavy objects on machinery, carpentry, working with metal, working on engines of many kinds, or gun work. They may come in handy for the veteran in many ways, like learning how to adapt to many situations. Having these skills may persuade employers to hire them because they are more than qualified. Veterans often bring more to the table than someone with a college degree in that field of work. Our veterans are the boots that this country was built on. It's so important to give them the recognition and appreciation that they deserve. What may not seem like a big deal to us may mean the world to any veteran who dedicated part of his or her life to fighting for our freedoms and protecting the rights that we are so lucky to have. When we take a step back to realize how important our veterans truly are, we see a much bigger picture of the roles that they have played in keeping our country as great as it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercedes. Karina Obenauer, the Highland bagpiper, will now play God Bless America. After that, she has a message to share with us.
the history of the bagpipe and the fact that they're actually known as a war pipe and how that came to be. So people think that bagpipes are an Irish-Scottish thing because that's now currently where they're most famed, but that's not true. We actually go back over 5,000 years and we see that an instrument resembling the bagpipe first started out in Egypt and then got incorporated into the Roman Empire. Emperor Nero is actually documented as playing an instrument with a flute and a bag, so perhaps he was playing a bagpipe instead of a fiddle when Rome burned. It was originally made out of animal bone and stomach, probably a sheep's stomach of sorts. as the Roman Empire moved forward, northward, conquering the British Isles, many people believe that that was the period of time when the natives there became introduced to the instrument and kind of took it over and made it what it is today. By the Middle Ages, every European country had its own variation of a bagpipe, and there are still very different variations that exist today. You have the Irish small pipe, you have the Great Highland bagpipe that I play. Pakistan, India have their own versions of bagpipes. So it's a very unique instrument if you were to go and listen to it in the different countries where it exists. The Highland bagpipe gained its popularity and notoriety as a war pipe because the purpose of the instrument in the region of the British Isles was to rally the Highlanders to war, to follow their chieftains into war. And so from the very beginning, it's always been played with this purpose of gathering troops. Oliver Cromwell in the 17th Century Act issued a proclamation that anyone found playing the bagpipes would be banished to Barbados. And in 1745, the Jacobite uprising, which might not mean anything to us right now today, but it was an attempt to regain the throne of Britain by Prince Charles Stuart, and his convoy never traveled with less than 100 pipers. And so when this uprising or rebellion was finally squashed by Catholic England, one of the pipers was actually put on trial for treason. And the judge ruled that even though he was a piper, never carried a weapon, he said he was just a musician, the judge ruled that he was still guilty of sedition because everybody knows that a bagpipe has always been played in war. And that the purpose of the bagpipe is to boost morale, bolster courage, and cause people to go to battle. And so at that moment, bagpipes were ruled in the eyes of the law to be an instrument of war. And so this bagpiper was actually hung, drawn, and quartered, and made an example of. And so after this, Parliament passed a law called Act of Prescription, which made wearing a tartan or a kilt, speaking in Gaelic, playing the bagpipes, or even performing Irish dance all illegal. And actually, that's why Irish dance is performed from the waist down. They don't move from the waist up. That was also an act of rebellion. These Scots have a tendency to be a little stubborn, and so they decided, well, if we can't openly practice our traditions, we'll do it secretly. In Ireland and in Scotland, there's a lot of stone walls, hedges, and so they would still perform their dances behind those walls from the waist down. But you can't see them dancing from the waist up. So it was still just this little thorn in the side of the English. And so these traditions were passed on in secret. Later on, Britain offered them the incentive of joining them in their military forces, allowing them to wear tartan and play pipes. So thus, the Great Highland War Pipe was able to live on. Pipers often led troops into battle. They were often the first ones to cross into no man's land. They did not carry weapons. And so oftentimes they went into the throes of battle knowing they were going to die, without any way to defend themselves. And so it was not uncommon for you to go onto a battlefield with 100 pipers and be lucky to come home with 20 or less. Their purpose back then and their purpose throughout the centuries has always been to boost morale and courage. A lot of veterans from over the pond would say that hearing the bagpipe is what gave them the bravery to charge. It was also an effective mode of battlefield communication. You get enough bagpipers together, they could be heard for miles over gunfire, and every song was a different command that instructed the troops what to do, whether it was to charge or retreat or so on. In 1815, when Napoleon waged his final battle at Waterloo, he was led with pipers. And a single piper survived that battle. And afterwards, he played a tribute to his fallen comrades. His name was Kenneth Mackay. My great-grandmother was a Mackay. We didn't find this out till after I had already started playing bagpipes, but it is quite literally in my blood. As time goes on, I think it was documented that over 1,000 pipers died in World War II alone. From World War II onward, it's kind of become more of a ceremonial thing and less of a on the battlefield sort of thing. But where they're able to be played, they still are, and they still have the same purpose that they've always had, boosting morale, inspiring courage. And courage is very much the topic of a day like today. We're here to honor the courage, the sacrifice, the bravery of those who did the thing that we haven't done, or didn't do, or couldn't do, or they did for us. And so, as much as we thank the courage of our veterans today, I also want to direct to you students and encourage you to also have courage. That you don't have to wait until you're an adult to exhibit courage. That the sacrifice and the things that our veterans gave up, they gave up for you. They willingly did what they did for you, the future of this country. And so, as bagpipes are an instrument to inspire courage, I do inspire courage in you. And you can have courage here in your community. And honestly, this is the safe place to start. Because if you can be brave here in the safety of your own community, you will be brave out there. And so whether it's anti-bullying, whether it's being a kind neighbor, whether it's pushing hard in academics to be the best, whatever it is, be courageous. Be the first person to say a kind word. You feel the butterflies in your stomach. It's not about doing something because it's easy to do. It's about doing the right thing even when you're afraid. So, thank you for all of our veterans and their courage. And thank you, students, for being courageous as well. Today, tomorrow, and always.
Thank you, Karina. Jenny Stark will now read the poem, We Owe Them a Lot by Joanna Fuchs.
On Veterans Day, we remember again our men and women who served. We honor them now for what they did then, the liberties they preserved. Let's never forget their sacrifice, the hard, heavy work they have done. They did what was asked, crucial needs they fulfilled with a telephone, pencil, or gun. We're happy and proud to honor them. They gave so much more than they got. Our heroes, our veterans kept freedom safe. All of us owe them a lot.
Thank you, Jenny. The 5th grade class would now like to sing a song for our veterans. Thank you, 5th grade. The VFW Auxiliary will now do a flag presentation.
Hi, my name is Nita Paterka, and this is Betty Bell. I would like to present to you some classroom flags. I goofed up. I lost the list on who was supposed to get these. But I think I have it right. First, we'll give to Alicia Grandhow for the middle school. If Alicia's here, please come down. And she will get an American flag and a South Dakota flag. Please stay. Okay. Allison Altwine. And she's a K through 12 art teacher, is that correct? Close enough. And then I have Colin Walter. High school, he gets the South Dakota flag and the American flag. Not here? Okay. And I apologize, I can't remember who the fourth person was that was supposed to get this. Was there another teacher that was supposed to get, that ordered a South Dakota classroom flag? Okay. I know there was 4. So I'll find out who it is. We want to thank you, Betty and I want to thank you for asking for these flags, and we hope you wave them in your classroom with pride. Thank you.
Thank you. Caitlin Odins will now read the poem The Best on Earth by Joanna Good. A Veterans Day tribute. If someone has done military service, they earn the title veteran, and they earn our deep respect and admiration. That they are special, no one can ignore. They sacrifice the comforts we enjoy, the list is long of all things they gave. Our veterans are extraordinary people. They're loyal, dedicated, true, and brave. When terror and invasion were real threats, they showed us that they can handle any sort. We owe our freedoms and our very lives to our veterans who serve in uniform. Our veterans should be celebrities. They're exceptional. No other group compares. We're grateful for many things they've done. They're always in our hearts and in our prayers. We owe our veterans support and friendship. Let no one ever question what their worth. These men and women served us and our country, our veterans, the very best on earth. Thank you, Kaylin. The Student Council would like to thank the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade classes and teachers for making cards for our veterans. We would also like to thank Steve Flett and Steve Henry for all of your help in getting ready for the program. Thank you also to Mr. Jacobson and the band students and Karina for your music. Thank you to Mercedes for reading your Voice of Democracy essay, and thank you to the VFW Auxiliary for presenting us with flags. Thank you to Student Council members Trinity, Kaylin, Nora, and Jenny for reading your poems, and thank you to Flowers and More for donating the roses that were given to the veterans. Once again, thank you very much to our veterans for your service and for attending our program. The VFW and American Legion Color Guard will now retire their colors as Karina plays Amazing Grace. Thank you for coming to our program, and please rise if able for the retiring of the colors.
Please be seated. I'm going to throw everybody a curve. I kind of like to do that myself. My name is Paul Weidenbach. I'm the commander of the American Legion here at Scout, and also the VFW member here at Scout. I was asked this morning to explain 2 things. Why we do a gun volley, a firing rifles, and why we play taps. Those 2 things to me are very, very emotional and very, very important. The reason we do that is to honor our fallen comrades. Those that the poems and the speakers talked about today, that's us in the crowd. That's the gentleman behind us. When we die, the last thing that is done is a flag's placed on our casket. A gun salute is done, and taps is done. So we do that to honor those that have gone before us. We've done this since the Civil War. So we have a tradition that is very sacred and very dear to us. There are members of us veterans community that we have buried our fathers, our uncles, our brothers. And in the military community, we are all brothers, regardless if you're a woman or a man. It's a community. So that's why we do the gun salute and taps. And by communities denying this, you're not denying it only to us, but you're denying it to everyone that has passed before us and that will pass after us. It's a very sacred, a very dear right that we take heartily and we take very, very personally. Thank you. Grade schoolers, you are dismissed at this time. Right shoulder arm. Side step to the left and right. Step behind our chairs. For those of us that are remaining in the auditorium, if you wish to cover your ears because of the loud noise, you may do so at this time. Wow.